Hey guys, I'm Daisho, and I am here bringing you some Hearthstone, and I am playing some Arena, and we're doing a Stipulation Arena. You can go ahead and check back in previous videos if you're curious as to what this is and what is happening and why my deck is so terrible, although it didn't end up being that terrible. But yeah, I'm 6-2, started out 4-0, and then lost 2 straight. Was pretty down in the dumps for a little while, but then I won a couple of games. And that has raised my spirits, and I am rallying. 6-2. All right, playing against Tiny Tauren. Noble Sacrifice is fine. Probably don't want it in my opener. Think I might not want the Injured Blademaster either. It's like one of my average threes. It's not one of my best. Actually, it is probably one of my best threes. I don't really have that many good cards in this deck. My fours are my best, and I've got one Guardian of Kings and a Boulder Fist Ogre and an Argent Commander. But for the most part, this deck's not great. A couple of True Silvers and Hammer of Wraths, which is kind of nice. But yeah, it really depends on what my opponent does this turn as to what I will do on my turn. Also my draw. Technically, that's probably every turn relies on those things. Boulder Fist Ogre, you say? Alright, let's go ahead. Actually, I'm not going to mess around here. I'm just going to coin out a Mind Control tech. There are a lot of other things that I can do, but this just doesn't guarantee. You could have a Frostbolt here, but it gives me the best chance of killing this Mana Worm before it gets out of control. And I still have the ability to drop a Farseer next turn. Well, that really sucks. That's pretty much the worst case scenario. Okay, well, makes me feel a little upset that I already used the coin, but it does mean that I'll nearly have a guaranteed answer. Watch him play Mirror Image right here. That would just be the worst. Actually, Sen'jin Shieldmaster would probably be the worst. Water Elemental's also pretty bad. Alright, actually, no, I don't have a Great Way. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like Magic. Actually, no. Never mind. I don't even know what I'm saying. Alright, so we're hitting here and then going upstairs. This guy's actually probably not going to be that big of a deal. If he's able to kill this Thraumel Farseer, then that's going to... Actually, no. He just hits me in the face here. That would probably be his best option. Yeah, because he gets to freeze me, so I can't use my weapon. And he's going to fireball this? Interesting. Alright, so right here I'm going to play a couple of things that can kill this after I Crazed Alchemist. Still taking some more damage, which is never ideal against Jaina. So what can I read from my opponent that he played a fireball this early? One of two things, most likely. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to focus on how I'm not going to just lose to this thing. I think that it's just going to 2-for-1 me. Okay, so the two possible reasons why my opponent played a fireball are, number one, because he had no removal and he wanted to get an early board advantage. And number two, my god, this guy has all of these spells. Number two, it could be that he has got multiple fireballs in hand, which would be the worst of the two situations. I mean, like, I'm playing 2 creatures a turn, and I'm doing everything I can here to try and get rid of this thing, but I just have had 0 opportunities where I could actually even do that, so it's getting annoying. Yep. Pass turn, and again giving ourselves the opportunity to kill this thing finally, as long as he doesn't kill both of my creatures, which he has been doing every turn so far. Okay, well, this is actually going to be a very good equality. Oh no, he's going to be able to kill this still. No, he's got another one, the first turn that I actually can get rid of it, and all these cards are completely useless because I can't get rid of that. This sucks. I'd just lose. I'm done, guys. It's over. I can't do anything. None of my cards do anything currently. and I can't get anywhere by making recruits. I just drawing these two weapons when I'm already locked out of my weapon were the two worst draws in the deck. I think that this deck's biggest weakness is that it doesn't have any area of effect. That's a weird attack. Hammer Wrath. Alright, well, let's do that. I think it's too little too late here, but... Kodo. Yeah, it's definitely too little too late. Not really... Because my opponent just needs a fireball here to actually kill me. And I'm sure that there's at least one fireball left in his deck. And I have not even stabilized the board yet. He's just picking that up before attacking for mysterious reasons. Could have hit me in the face for 4 damage. Not complaining, I guess? I don't know. Hammer of Wrath number 2. That's pretty good. Ish. Actually, let's Hammer of Wrath this first. See if we can draw like an Argent Commander. Ooh, Guardian of Kings. I don't really need card advantage here. I just need to get my life total up. We're about even on cards, so not too worried. I could have Divine Favored there to draw. No, I couldn't have drawn any cards. Oh man. So if my opponent actually no, I think I'm just dead. Well, not just dead, because I can play this, but that doesn't get me anywhere. I can't kill any of his creatures without hitting them. Still, I think it makes sense to hit the Ogre Magi and kill it. Yeah, so I'm not dead, but I'm virtual dead. Because I'm kind of drawing dead. As long as my opponent is able to play cards that do stuff, I cannot win this one. There is a card that does a thing. Also, that one is a card that does a thing. And believe it or not, that is also a card that does a thing. Okay, so what's the plan here? Hit me in the face. That sounds like a good one. Blessing O the Kings. Alright, well I need a... I think I'm actually just dead. I haven't calculated. I'm gonna take 4. Yeah, I'm gonna just die here. Oh well. Maybe he'll ping this or like hit there without paying attention. Either way, no way I can win this one. That was a really good... I mean, Water Elemental is a very powerful card, and I think it was a combination of his specific draw beat my specific draw, and that was really it. The Flame Strike doesn't do anything here. I don't know why you're playing that, but at the same time, I should just be conceding. It's just the outside chance that my opponent doesn't see that he has the win. And he does, but yeah, well played. I don't think that my opponent's deck was like significantly better than mine, or that I couldn't have ever won that game. It's just the fact that I think that those specific draws didn't match up favorably for me, and yeah, it kind of sucked. Kind of bad arena. 6-3. I mean, I guess it's not so bad, especially considering the fact that I gave myself some restrictions at the beginning. So I don't know. Couldn't be a little bit obvious that this video ended because it'll be like 11 minutes, so maybe I should just like talk for the next 10-15 minutes. I don't know if I could do that. I could probably do that. I'm very good at talking to myself. It's a strategy, it's a skill. You don't think it's not a skill in that I think it takes talent to do so. It's a skill in that I think it's something that you have to work on. Once you get used to building a narrative and talking to yourself, figuring out where you think that a conversation is going to go by yourself, then it gets a lot better. And basically the idea is not to just not think at all and just say whatever is in your mind at the moment, but you have to say what you think is going to happen in the future. So, or you don't say what you think is going to happen in the future. You make a little plan in your head. It's like very snap decision. It's just like, okay, this is where I want this general conversation to go, and then you let your brain take you there as you get there. But anyway, we didn't get any good cards in our pack, which is always sad. I was actually talking to a friend earlier today, just before I recorded, and I'm pretty close to getting all of the legendaries that I need. The only ones that I really think that I need for decks are 3 of these guys. Let's see, we need Tyrion, if we ever want to make... This is not Tyrion. This is... I thought I clicked on this. Yeah, let's type in legendary so this becomes way easier. What is going on? Why is... I clicked on this the second time too. Yeah, so we need Tyrion Fordring if I ever want to build a priest or paladin control deck. I think I do. I don't know. I need Alakir for my shaman control deck. It's a very good way to do burst damage. It's kind of annoying because I disenchanted one of these way back in the day because I thought that this card was so bad that I would never want to use it. But I didn't really understand the idea of burst damage, which is just a very different concept than anything in Magic. I mean, it has the same kind of idea, and this was actually something that I was thinking about that I'll bring up in a second. But yeah, generally in Hearthstone, killing your opponent from 15 or 16 is generally the way to do it, whereas in Magic, you usually take board control, and then you slowly kill them, or your win conditions happen. Sometimes they're not even damage. This game, or in Magic, something I was just thinking about this, it was so actually I don't think I want to go deep into Magic in a Hearthstone video, but yeah, it was about the fact, I was just going to briefly say the fact that the Rug Splinter Twin deck started playing creatures, so it ended up being like a creature deck that has a combo finish, and it's kind of the same thing that all these Hearthstone decks are doing. But anyway, and I also need Rogues Edwin Van Cleef, so those are 3, and then the only other 2 that I need are sorry, I skipped it, Baron Geddon here. I also had one of these. It was a golden one, so I'm not too upset that I disenchanted it, which I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, I mean, they're never going to nerf this card, and so it's just equal to one other legend for the most part. I don't know. And then the other one that I need is Sylvanas. And those 2 I sort of need, and they're role players in decks. But the only ones that I really need before I can ever even play a deck is Alakir, which, I mean, he's really kind of necessary for the Shaman control deck to win games against the aggro decks. And I mean, Tyrion, but that deck's not a real deck, the Paladin control deck. It might end up being that the metagame takes us there at some point, but right now nobody's playing it. Then Edwin Van Cleef is the only other one that I need. So those are the 2 priorities. Actually, the priority might be Baron Geddon. I'm not really sure. Actually, why don't you vote in the comments? That would be great if you could do so. Make my decisions for me. I mean, just outsourcing any part of decision making that doesn't have to do with in-game Hearthstone and commentating to my subscribers. How awesome would that be? But anyway, yeah. So do you want me to, one of 3 people, Edwin Van Cleef, Alakir, or Baron Geddon? Those are the 3 that I think I need the most. And I mean, there are a couple others that I could use for some fringe deck at some point, but those are the 3 I think that I really would like to pick up, and I think I'd be pretty happy with my decks. But I don't know, I wasn't really planning on going to Legend this season. I didn't work for it too hard before spring break, which was like last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess, I don't know. And then by the time I left, I was only ranked like 10, and by the time I got back, there were 9 days left in the test season, and I could maybe have arguably gotten there, but I didn't feel like devoting a lot of time and effort and energy into it. Once I got Legend once, it was sort of enough, but today I just started playing. I wanted to complete a quest. I had to win 5 games with Druid, and I just won like 7 or 8 straight games with my Druid mid-range deck. And I felt pretty good about that, because I thought that Druid mid-range would be a lot weaker without Pagel and Tankmaster, and I think it is. I adapted mine a little bit to give myself a couple of things. Number one, it surprises your opponent because you're not really playing the same exact thing that everybody else is playing. And number two, I think the cards are just a little bit good in this metagame. So I brought in a Starfall. They're sometimes AoE, sometimes killer creature. I think that I've always thought that this card was good, and I always have understood that it doesn't really fit in the deck, the Watcher Druid deck, but I also think that it is a good option in that once we lose Pagel and Tinkmaster, you kind of need to answer things. And I mean, this gives me a bad answer to Sylvanas or Cairn, which are two of the things that you always wanted to kill. It gives me most of the way to an answer to Ragnaros. Most people are playing Big Game Hunter, but I've really never been excited about Big Game Hunter. It's only ever even playable in a couple of matchups, and in those it's very good, sure, but a lot of the times cards like Starfall can do the same kind of thing. It doesn't get you as much advantage, but you can also use this card very effectively against other decks, which is always a good idea. But I decided to add in these Azure Drakes and this Blood Mage Thalnos package, and then adding another spell seemed like the most logical thing to do, considering 2 Wraths and 2 Swipes along with the Starfall are the only spells in the deck. For a while I was trying Starfire, but I think Ragnaros is just better. So the 4 changes basically that I made to this deck, actually I don't even remember. What else did I take out? So I obviously took out the Tinkmaster and the Nat Pagel. I think I had 1 extra slot where I was running Mark of the Wild, and no, maybe that was the same. I can't remember if it was the same slot or 2 slots where I was running Mark of the Wild and Spellbreaker, but I don't know. Anyway, I think that's all for today. Got a little mini Daisho chat. I like doing that. It's fun. It's fun talking. Hopefully somebody will be listening. But yeah, that'll be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video and that you all have an absolutely wonderful and fantastic day. And oh yeah, I guess before I actually sign off, because I am just lying to you guys when I say that I'm going to finish these videos, I do think that I will do this stipulation thing again. Maybe step it up a little bit, maybe a little bit more interesting, hopefully get a little bit of a worse deck and try and do a little bit better. I mean, isn't that always the idea? I guess you always want to get a better deck and do better, but always do better than the previous time. 6-3 is, I mean, it does mean that I beat my opponents, or I beat 2 out of 3 of my opponents, even though they weren't playing with handicaps and I was playing with a handicap. The handicap didn't end up being so super relevant, but it definitely made my deck quality worse. There were situations where I would have rather had the card in the middle, but I think that probably only came up 5 or 6 times, and then extract that over an entire game, and then the idea that even though I would have rather had a card, how much better actually is that card than the next best card? And once you add all those factors in, it's probably negligible how much the stipulation actually had an effect on my draft. But finally, I'm going to leave. So thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.